Okie dokie, we're going to go through translations using Joomla and hopefully try and cover everything. First of all, of course, we need to log in. And what I'm going to do first, we can ignore these messages of course, is load the website. So we'll see the websites here. We've already installed the languages, two languages now, English and Icelandic. And you'll see if we switch to Icelandic, quite a lot of the information that was on the English site isn't there, and that's because it hasn't been translated. You'll see the menu's even different. So we'll just switch back to English for a moment and go back to the admin area. So the first thing we need to do is manage the languages. Now these have already been installed and configured, but I'm going to walk through them anyway. So if you go to extensions, languages, and you'll see we have English there and we have Icelandic. And for content languages being languages that the website can be displayed in, we currently have English and Icelandic. And if you want to put more languages in, we just click install, find the language or search for it and install it. But there is a lot more to it than that. I just wanted to show you where the languages are managed. And you'll see here as well, you can change the order. If you change that, it changes the order of the flags in the language switcher. So back to the back end. So the main thing we need to do is organize some navigation for the menu and content and modules, and then of course the shopping cart. So if you just switch back to the website for a moment, you'll see here in English we've got home, excursions, then the different excursions, my cart and pay. And if we switch into Icelandic, we've got the home, we have excursions, and then we've got cart. But you can see we don't have anything under excursions and we don't have pay, and I've left it that way to show you how we translate the menu items. So I'm just going to go back into the administration area now. So you'll see here we've got menus, and we've got a main menu which I'm just going to look at briefly. There's only one item there, it will never change, it will never be edited, but just let you know that it's there. The main menus we will be using are English and of course Icelandic. So if we go to the Icelandic menu, you'll see we've got home, excursions and then cart, but we want the pay now option. So the easiest way to do this is take a menu item that already exists. So I'm going to go to the English menu, and you'll see we've got pay, so I'll just open that up and then say make a copy. Now my Icelandic isn't spectacular. I'm using Google Translate here, so I'm assuming pay is boga. And we don't need to change any of this because it's still going to go to the checkout page. We're going to publish it, change the menu from the English menu to the Icelandic menu, and down here we change the language to Icelandic. Click save and close, and then we go back to the website, refresh the page, and you'll see there we've got pay. Now if we go to shopping cart, of course that's in English because the cart hasn't been translated, the component. And if we go to pay, that will say the same thing because there's nothing in the shopping cart. So let's translate something else. The next item I want to do is put something on the excursions menu. So we've got boat trips here. So let's click on boat trips, save a copy. I'm just going to copy that into Google Translate, and hopefully that translates as boat trips. We don't need to change any of this, and we're just going to go published, put it on the Icelandic menu and change the language to Icelandic. Now what we will change with this is instead of having it as a parent item, we're going to put it under excursions, so it becomes a sub menu item. Save and close, go back to the website, refresh, and you'll see there we've got boat trips. Now in the menu where we've created this item, you'll see we've got boat trips there, and we've got all the other items that we can select. However, what we can't do is change the name of the category in the shop. Now, one other thing before we move on to the shop is over here we have a column called Association, and what this does is it links, for example, the home page with another page. So when somebody is on the website, let's say for example they're on the home page and they click Icelandic, it doesn't take them to another page. If I go to Pay Now in Icelandic and switch to English, hang on, go back to, yeah, we're in Icelandic, Pay Now, and switch to English, you'll see that it's staying on the same page in English. But to ensure that that always happens, the best thing to do on the menu is create an association between the two languages. So if I go here, you'll see there's no associations for these. So I'm just going to go to Borga or Borja, associations, and then tell it that I want to make an association to pay. And you'll see there it's linked now. And for boat trips, do the same. Associations, boat trips. When I'm making associations as well, I usually go into the second language because then I'm associating it with something in English that I can very quickly pick out, and that's for excursions. Save and close. So now if I'm on excursions and boat trips in English and I just click the flag, instead of it taking me to the home page, it stays on that page. But of course we don't have any boat trips translated yet. In fact, the only thing we have translated in Icelandic so far is the category boat trips, and I'm going to show you how to do that now. We'll go back into the admin area. So creating the menu items is pretty straightforward. Obviously you have to have something to link to. So for example, if you're in the English menu and you want to create a new menu item, you have to have something to link it to. And then obviously you need to do the same in Icelandic, and you need to make sure that the association is there, the language is there, and it's really easy to check. You just go onto the menu, select the menu. They're all in the Icelandic language, they've all been translated. We have a default menu item and they're all associated with another menu item. As we add other languages, you can associate these pages with other pages in other languages, and they don't necessarily have to be the correct page. If you don't have a page in that language, you can link it to something else. So if we go to components now, we'll look at the Eshop. So the first thing we're going to do is look at the categories, and you'll see we've got boat trips and we have it in Icelandic as well. Now there's only one problem with the eShop. There's no language manager, so it won't tell you if it's been translated. The only way you will know if it's been translated is if you go to the category on the website, excursions, and you see it there. Let's go back a second. So let's pick the next one, water sports. So I'm going to copy that, and while I'm waiting for that to open, translate it in Google Translate. And again, I'm more than happy to be wrong. And we'll check Icelandic and put that in the name. One thing I never do is fill out the alias. We don't need to. The system does that automatically. Save and close. Go back to the website. We're on excursions. Click refresh. And we have water sports there. Of course, we don't have any products yet, but at least we've got it. And then we can do the same, for example, for this. And again, you're welcome to change these translations. I don't profess to be any good. I don't think Google Translate will be perfect either. And then we go back to the page, refresh. So we've got boat trips, water sports, and quads and buggies, etc. So that's an overview of how to do the categories. I'm sure you can manage doing the rest. The next thing we'll need to do is products. So we have to select a product. For example, here we're going to select large catamaran, and I'm going to translate that into Icelandic. Okay, and then I'm going to grab this and put this into Google Translate. And switch to Icelandic, just drop that in there, and then back to English, and then grab this and translate that. Back up to English. Now, to be fair, this is probably going to be easier with two windows open and on a bigger screen. But just for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to do it this way. Now, we'll have to translate the titles as well. So you see here we've got days available. So I'm just going to translate that into Icelandic as well. Drop that in here. There we go. And then we've got underneath that duration. So I'm going to take that, put that into the field for duration. I wouldn't know how to say duration in Icelandic, so Google Translate. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. And I think there's a couple more. Yeah, additional information. So I'm just going to grab that as well. Scroll up, switch to Icelandic. So that was additional information. Put that in there. There should be just one more tab. Information. I don't use that one. Transport. There we go. Yeah, that tab's for the map normally. So whoops. Put that in English. So I'll translate that. Okay, so that's the general tab done. Let's save that. And let's see what happens on the website now. So we're going to go to the website, boat trips, and you'll see the boat trip is there now. So if we access it this way, all the information has been translated. And you'll see there we've got these tabs translated as well because we translated those. Although I didn't translate that. Let's go back. Icelandic. There we go. So as laborious and as tedious as it is, I would always suggest once you've done a translation, go to the website and check it, because you can see here we've translated everything. Now you'll notice there's some things missing here. If I switch into the English site, you'll notice we're missing all the information to make a booking. So we'll go back into Icelandic, back to the back end. The data should stay the same because that's actually the SKU, which is an internal code. inventory should stay the same. Right, so options doesn't appear to be coming across with the translation. We definitely need date, and it says it's available. So that might be a bit of a problem. And I think the reason it's not showing on the website is because the option itself hasn't been translated. So let's go back. So we'll save and close this. And if we go to catalog and then options and select date, we can see here we've got date in English, but we don't have it in Icelandic. Now, I've used this software for quite a lot of years, and I've actually used it to translate into other languages. And typically what it will do, rather than display an error or a message or a code, if something hasn't been translated, it simply won't display it. So we're just going to paste my terrible Google Translate into there. And I'm hoping that fixes the problem. Let's click save and close. Go back to the website, refresh, and now the date is available. Okay, we need an Icelandic translation pack for the shopping cart. Let's have a look here. Save and close that. Let's see if that updates as well. So something's obviously missing there in the back end. Okay. Right, so we have to change that. We have to actually translate everything, even all the option values. So let's just do a few of those. Save and close, go back to the website, refresh. So it is allowing me to select 0 to 3 because that's on the product. But the date isn't working, so I'm going to have to look into that. And then we've got departure time as well. So we need to translate that. So not only do we need to translate the option details, we have to translate the option values. I'm not quite sure what the option values are for this product. I'd have to check. Departure time, that only leaves at 10:30. So this one's actually quite easy. So we just change morning, afternoon, and sunset, and everything else is just the same because it's numbers. Right, we've done up to 10:30, so let's go back to the site, change that. So the age is there. Oh, let's change to Icelandic. So the age is there, or one of them is. Departure time, we just need to set the date. Okay, let's go back. Date. Option values. That's interesting. Aha. Let's try. That, see if it works. Save, back to the website, refresh. No. 1900. So clearly there's something wrong there. I'm going to have to speak to the developers about that. We'll certainly get back to you on that, but at least we can translate everything else. Now the final thing that requires translation, so we've covered the menus and the eShop items. The only things you'll need to translate in here are the categories and the products. Everything else is standard. It shouldn't be an issue for you. We can actually add a currency converter and charge people in Icelandic kronas, but you do have to keep a very keen eye on the exchange rate, which is why I didn't offer it as an option. If you do want it, we can install that. So the next thing is the modules. And if I can just explain for a moment what modules are, we'll go to the website, we'll switch into English, and we'll go to the home page, and you'll see here we have this section here. This is a module, and I'll show you where it is. It's in the section Utility A. So Utility A is this section at the top, and it's already in English. So I'm going to translate that into Icelandic. You'll see it doesn't display. So we go to Alt Tenerife and just select duplicate. I'm going to leave the name the same, open it up and edit it, and grab that and just throw it into Google Translate. Menu assignment, take it off the home page English and put it onto the home page in Icelandic, and then make it published and set the language to Icelandic. Save and close. Go back to the website and refresh. We're in English, switch to Icelandic, refresh, and there we have it in Icelandic. So the other modules we'll need to do, obviously my cart and search, so let's do those now. So we have my cart, so we can grab, just put a tick in that box, select duplicate, or duplicate, and take that, translate that, and it's in the sidebar position, that's fine. Publish it, set the language to Icelandic, and again menu assignment, this is on all pages, so that's fine. Click save and close. Let's go to the website, make sure we're in Icelandic, and then hit refresh, and we'll see there that the cart's displayed. And we'll do the same for search. And I've opened it instead of clicking the box, but that's easy. We can just click save as copy, but before I do that, I want to copy that for the translation. So search, again menu assignment, all pages, make sure it's published and make sure it's set to the Icelandic language so it only displays on Icelandic pages, and click save and close, back to the page, refresh. There we go. Obviously we've got a little bit of English there. And that's pretty much it. Obviously we have to go through each element and change it. And you can see here we've got elements that display in the Icelandic language, elements that display in English, and so on. So what else have we got on this home page? Let's go back to English. So we've got most viewed. Let me copy that and go here and find it on here. Most viewed. So let's copy that. Duplicate. Again, menu assignment, all pages, published, Icelandic, save and close, back to the home page, to the top, Icelandic, refresh. There we go. So you can see obviously in English most viewed, has quite a few products because they've all been viewed in English. And then if you go to Icelandic, it only displays one. Right, I hope that helped. Obviously, I'm going to have a look at this problem with the date selector. I would imagine it's because the Icelandic language pack isn't available. If not, I'll find a way of adding it. Hope that helps.